Thanks so much for coming, guys. I know it's warm out there. For those of you that went running, how'd it go? Went well? Had fun? Cool, cool. Very cool. For anybody who doesn't know, my name is Jacob. I'm one of the managers here at Live Grit, and we're really, really excited for this First Timers program this year. Normally, we start by saying who's doing their first triathlon. Trick question. All of you are going to be doing your first triathlon. How many people are doing the sprint distance in the room? And the Olympic distance, or the rest of us? Awesome. I think this is the first time we've had more Olympic distance athletes in the room. There's less of you. 150 athletes are doing Olympic, 300 are doing sprint. So you guys are well ahead of the curve by coming to clinics like this. This is one of 7 clinics we're having throughout the summertime. Today we're going to focus all about running, but we'll have the ability to talk about just about anything else in the endurance sports world that you have questions on. We are Live Grit. We're Chicago's endurance sports store. We do everything swim, bike, run. Occasionally we do snowshoe adventures in the wintertime. We do a bunch of fun stuff as well. That's empty, man.
What?
Yeah, that's all we have left. Okay. But there's beers in there.
I'm going to go make a run then.
All right. We have 12 backups, so got to be careful. This is Hootie. He works for Lifetime Athletic Events. What's your business card say these days?
I'm the National Triathlon Brand Manager.
Ooh, he got a promotion. Yay, Hootie.
Yeah.
He is
still the best in the world.
That very much so, very much so. So Sunday the 28th, we will all be doing Chicago Triathlon. Well, I won't be, but all of you will be doing Chicago Triathlon. And Hootie has a lot to do with the organization and the details of race day. So we'll be able to answer some of those questions. And some of those questions we're going to tell you we don't know yet because they haven't made those decisions just yet. So don't ask me when we're going to start. We won't know that for another, 3 months or so, 2.5 months. And we'll have your wave starts. All we ask of you guys today is that you start introducing us by name so we can get to know everybody's names. And if you have any questions, please, please, please ask. We have a lot of information in the room today. Rashawn back there, raise your hand real high, Rashawn. He works here at the store. He has a wealth of knowledge on swim and fancy fingers. He does a lot of knowledge on swim, bike, run. Caleb in the back there, the bearded fella, he's one of our bike techs, a lot to do with bike. And also in the back there, she is our head fitter. I think one of the best fitters in the country. So any bike discomfort questions, you ask her. Sabin floated around on the other side, another one of our bike guys. He said he was going to come dancing in when I introduced him.
And they both disappeared. I told them he's not here.
Unbelievable. There's Sabin. Everybody just judge Sabin through the windows. Hi, Sabin. That's Sabin. Jeff is on the other side as well, shorter gentleman, spiky hair. He's one of our run experts. That's Sabin. Jeff does a lot of our run stuff. That's our staff here in the store. Gillian, the owner, is down at Movies in the Park, enjoying the perks of ownership, I guess. She's actually working at Movies in the Park, not just there. So we have Jim, one of our head endurance coaches here in-house. Jim just took some athletes out for a run. We have Hootie with Lifetime and all of his friends and family there in Chicago Triathlon shirts, a lot of the endurance coaches. If you have any questions, we have someone here to answer them for you. So I'm going to have about a 20-25 minute presentation here on the TV. Then we're going to spread out. We'll spread our information out across the room, our knowledge out across the rooms here, and you'll be able to kind of mix and mingle and get to know people as you see fit. Any huge questions to get started, guys? We're running out of beer, so if you need some, just get up and get it. Don't want to be the guy who runs out of beer, but that's going to happen.
We're going to go get a case or two.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect. You'll learn this incestuous relationship with triathlons and drinking. All right? It just goes hand in hand. None of us here are going to try and win the race. We're all going to try and have a lot of drinks while we learn how to do it, though. Let's see if this guy feels like working today. Technology is always the tough part of our day. Nope. Back to the old clicker. So we're going to go through Triathlon Basics real quick since everybody here is doing their first ever triathlon. If you've sat through one of our presentations, this is how we go through every presentation. We're going to swim, we're going to bike, we're going to run in that order. No choose your own adventure on Sunday the 28th. You have to go in that order. We have different distances, the sprint distance and the international or Olympic distance. Those words are interchangeable. The timing's going to start the minute the horn goes off in the water and won't finish until you're crossing the finish line there on Balboa Drive. We're going to start in a wave of 150 other first-timers. Each wave of starts is about 150 athletes big. The only difference between every other wave and ours is we're going to be grouped with first-time athletes only. Most of the other waves are done by age group. And then transitions, we call this the fourth sport. 3 weeks from tonight, we have a transition clinic. I recommend everybody come to that one. Registration is about to close on that, so go ahead and sign up as quick as you can. But timing for transitions counts towards your total time, everything like that. And we'll go over some hints and tips through transition today for transition 2. And then real quick, we're going to look at the course and go over some triathlon rules. Any big questions on this stuff here, guys? Got to look at the time, make sure I stay on pace. So real quick, we'll zoom in on the Chicago Tri course so you guys see it. This is transition right here at the curve of the lakefront path just south of that, what is it called, Columbia Yacht Club? Yeah, right at Randolph, where Randolph comes into the lakefront path. That's transition. You're going to come out the south side of transition on the lakefront path. If you're at the international distance, you run around the Shed Aquarium and all the way down to 31st Street, turn around and come back up. You'll, after the aquarium, cut back in right where the marathon finishes there on Balboa Drive. Sprint distance is going to turn around right at Waldron there, just south of Soldier Field, and come back up. The only part of the course here that's not entirely closed down, nobody in the world can shut down the lakefront path. It's open to the public at all times. So you'll be running into other athletes who aren't competing in the triathlon at this point. But the bike course, you're totally isolated, as well as the swim course. They don't let boats come through the swim course, so you'll be totally isolated there as well. Best part about the run course, except for the very, very end, because we don't recommend running in traffic, you can train on the run course all season long. Bike and swim course you're not allowed on at all during the year, but the run course you can train on to get a feel for it. It's amazing how those overpasses and underpasses become hills on hot, tired days. They turn into big old hills. Any questions on the course, guys? Have any questions on what it's going to look like? Yeah.
I just have a question.
You broke the rule.
Sorry, my name's Amanda.
This is Amanda. All right.
Will there be like a sign, like to the left, you will be sprint, to the right, you will be...
Yeah, there'll be a big, I can't think of the name of it. It's like one of those folding boards, right? That has the turnaround marker on it.
A-frame.
Yeah, thank you. An A-frame, like, or chalkboard type of thing.
Signs,
You'll know. You'll know. For sure you'll know.
If you're conscious, you'll know.
Yeah. And you'll all be conscious, I promise. That's the goal at the very least. Any other questions on triathlon, guys? I know it's a big world when we say that word triathlon, swim, bike, run. And it may be easier to ask these coaches and our staff here in the store these questions privately, but don't ever be afraid to ask a question. We realize this wasn't a day in 8th grade that everybody missed except for us. This is information you have to learn at some point. So if you have any questions along the way, let us know. All right? What is the distance on the whole thing or the run course? Of the run course, sprint distance is a 5K, so 3 miles, and international is a 10K, so 6 miles. 3.1 and 6.2 miles, respectively. Don't forget the 0.1 or the 0.2. Any other questions on this stuff, guys? Cool, cool, cool. Keep moving on along. Special for you guys, the First Timers program. A lot of these athletes are in this picture are first timers from last year. They will be second timers this year. What you guys are getting special on the run side as being part of the First Timers program. Tonight you're going to get 10% off running goods. Anything in the store that you can convince me you're going to run in, you get 10% off. And then if you make a shoe fitting appointment, we're going to talk about shoe fit here towards the end. If you make an appointment with my man Rashawn back there, he loves the woo sound. He's a big fan of the woo sound. A woo girl. If you make an appointment with him to go through the shoe fitting process, you're going to get a 15% discount on any running shoes in the month of June. We understand running shoes are inexpensive. Other places you can get them real cheap online, and we have a couple of points to make about that we'll make in the fit process of this slide, but we'll catch you guys a deal on run shoes here in the store. I counted this morning, we have 26 shoes on the shelf, split between men's and women's, and we have access to hundreds and hundreds of more running shoes as well. So we have a shoe that will fit you best, and we're going to get into that stuff a little bit later in the slideshow. In the green here, we talk about our fun runs and our weekly run club. So every Tuesday night here at the store at 6 p.m., we have a fun run. It's 2 to 4 miles. All paces are welcome. It's not structured in the sense that we don't have a workout. It's just a 2 to 4 mile run. We go a mile down the road to a park, run around the park a couple of times, and then come back. Groups have been as big as 32 people, I think was our biggest run club, and there's paces of all different levels there. Plus, it's the city, and we get stoplights, so you'll catch up to the faster runners along the way. We do fun runs as well. I think right now it's the second Tuesday of every month at 6:30 p.m. We do the Shake Shack run with our partner store up on the north side, Universal Soul. We leave from the store here, run 3 miles down to Shake Shack on Michigan Avenue. First drink is on Shake Shack. Rashawn has something to say about that.
If you come join us for our fun run in 2 weeks, we may or may not be having a water gun fight. Just throwing it out there.
Rashawn's getting adventurous. So we're going to have Shake Shack runs every second Tuesday of the month, and that runs down to Shake Shack, and then we'll bring your stuff down. If you leave like a bag here, we'll bring it down to you so you can just go home from there. We have Grit Endurance run training, so our sister company, Grit Endurance, does all of our swim, bike, and run training. That's who Jim works for. He's one of our head coaches over there. We have 5K, 10-miler, half marathon, full marathon, 12-week, 16-week triathlon training. We do pretty much everything when it comes to training on that side of things. So if there's a program you need, if you just want remote coaching, you want a workout plan for the triathlon, these coaches are here to help you guys out. And then we have our do-it-yourself triathlon, which will probably be first week in July, first week in August, both of those dates. We're going to go set up transition and let you do your own triathlon. So that'll give you a good chance to get used to swim, bike, run. And we're going to talk about some different physiological changes that the body undergoes when we get off the bike and go for a run. Any questions on what you guys in the First Timers program get? I feel like I'm going real fast, but yeah.
I think it's
You broke the rule. What was your name?
My name's Maytal.
Maytal, nice to meet you.
Early in the winter, we get, I think through this, emails about power hours.
Okay.
But I haven't gotten any of those since, where it was like 10 minutes of swimming, 20 of biking, and then 30 of running. I don't
Okay.
know how it broke down.
Sure.
Those are not offered through this then, by the confused look on your face.
We've never sent that email, so I'm very confused. Hootie, have you guys sent a power hour email?
Maybe an indoor triathlon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that something completely
Yeah, so
Got it.
Lifetime Athletic Events owns a triathlon. They also own the health clubs out in the suburbs. And throughout the course of the throughout the course of the winter and spring, they had indoor triathlons, which is those power hours, a little bit of swimming in their lap pool, some biking on their stationary bikes, and then running on the treadmills. I believe that series is over.
Yeah.
It's a winter program. Okay. So that was all through Lifetime Athletics and their clubs, which are great. We had a lot of athletes do that and had a lot of fun with them this winter, but they're over until we go back inside. You'll have a lot of fun with us. These guys also do one thing I didn't remember to put up here. June 28th, if you have not registered for the open water swim through Chicago Triathlon on June 28th, are there still spots left, Hootie?
Got about 75 spots.
Okay. And there was what, 500?
500.
Okay, so they're getting sparse. They're going quick. That is one of the greatest events in triathlon training, period. They're one of the only events that can get athletes into the water in that number ahead of the race. I don't know anywhere, and now Hootie is in charge of the nation of triathlons. Are they doing that anywhere else yet? I'm sure he will try and get it nationwide at some point. But these are awesome events. The last 3 of them, there's 5 every other Tuesday starting on the 28th and going until the week of the race. You'll be able to swim in the open water with coaches in small group settings, get used to other athletes swimming near you, so on and so forth. The last 3 of those have the aquathlon, which is not a word. I'm convinced of it. It's not a word. They make it's like, Bieber. It becomes its own word. Where you can go for a swim and then a run. So that's one of those brick workouts we talk about, those 2-sided workouts. And that's a great way to get running, again, after you go swimming. So sign up for those. The 28th is open for registration now. If you go to their Facebook page, there's a link to it. If you go to your First Timers website, that I'll show you guys towards the end, you can find the link to it, so on and so forth. But those are awesome. And then on that event, 2 weeks from then, they'll set up the registration for the other event, the next one in the series. That's the only thing I forgot to put on this dang slideshow. Well, so far. Oh, sorry. Any questions on this page here, which you guys get as part of the First Timers program? Cool. All right, this is the tough slide. We're going to run through some equipment that you need here in the store. All of it we sell, all of it you'll be able to get online. This is where I'm going to rely on the coaching staff to answer a lot of your questions once we break up, because I can tell you all day, but unfortunately I look like a salesman. Those guys are going to tell you what they use through years and years of doing triathlons, what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Other athletes are a great resource. Out of curiosity, how many people have done like an organized run before, like a 5K along the way? So most of us have gone running before this. So you have a general idea of a lot of this stuff. Some of this is going to be triathlon specific, but some of it's just going to be extension of running. So first we're going to talk about nutrition and hydration. We carry a company in the store here called Nathan Sports. They make some of the best running products I've ever seen. They do some really cool things like the run belts. You can keep your nutrition and your hydration on something like this during training for some of those longer runs, especially on a day like today. For whatever reason, the water fountain at Ohio Street Beach stopped working. So carrying one of these even on a short run will be beneficial. They make the smaller handheld bottles if you don't want something around your waist.
The big ones fit iPhone 6. So.
Yeah, we have one of these that fit an iPhone 6 Plus. Rashawn, the Android user, points that out. So Nathan makes a lot of great products as far as hydration, carrying things on the run. They do some really cool lights. They make things that go on the heel of your shoes, that clip onto your shirt. If you're ever running at night, especially here in Chicago, being seen is never a bad thing. They make a lot of really cool stuff. We have a general rule that we always talk about in triathlons. You race what you train and you train what you race. So you should never be consuming new fluids and new solids on race day. This is all something you should have practiced in training at some point. And same thing with the gear. We want something that you're used to, something that you're comfortable with. There will be, I believe, one aid station on the run course, one or two aid stations on the run course to get water. But other than that, it never hurts to be self-supported by having something like this. Any questions on nutrition and hydration? We're going to get into like what to eat and drink later, but this is more so like the accessory side of things. Yeah.
Based on that, the 6+ thing.
Yeah.
Are you allowed headphones?
Absolutely not. No, you're not. In any run race you are, but in USAT rules and regulations, you're not allowed to listen to music. You're also not allowed to carry a cell phone with you on the race course. Rashawn, you can't have electronic communication devices with you, and you can't listen to music.
About like
You can have a watch, yeah. You like a Garmin watch, and if they don't see your cell phone, you'll be okay. Yeah, you're not allowed to have communication or headphones in. But luckily, the Lakefront Path draws a big crowd, so there's usually music being played by somebody along the way. At least that's what I noticed last year. Moving into clothing and accessories, which I realized there are 0 pictures of clothing on this slide. I made that mistake along the way. Small accessories that we're going to talk about, and we're going to go through this quick. All of this stuff is hanging on the other side. This is the best $13 investment you can make. It's called a race belt. Rather than pinning your cloth number to your shirt, it just goes into those 2 bungee cords right there. When you get off the bike, you can quick bungee this onto yourself and get going. It also has slots for those little goo packets and things like that along the way. They make some that have a little pocket in there if you need to carry something different. Every year we sell out of these at the expo, so do yourself a favor and buy it now. It's $13 and it'll save your life that weekend. You won't have to be fumbling with safety pins the morning of the race, getting it stuck to your shirt. So this is a great investment. Like I said, you can get ones with pockets on it. You can get ones with goo slots in it. You see this one holds some goos in there. The second best investment you can ever make is our friend Anti-Chafe here, the Body Glide. It's another great $10 investment. You'd be amazed at what rubs on what when you go running for too long. This also works really well in the water for wetsuits. A lot of people get like neck burn from their wetsuits. It works well on the bike to keep your shorts from chafing you, on the run from shirts in the armpit or on the chest. This is a wonderful, wonderful product to get, and we recommend everybody has it. They even have little trial sizes, I think, for $7 over there, so you can give that a shot as well. Things like quick laces, you quickly tie your shoes on rather than having to loop it, swoop it, and pull it like I tie my shoes. You can always add something like that. We have a number of accessories over on the other side. As far as clothing goes, I train in bag gear clothing. Shameless plug for the Grit Endurance kit right here. I train in looser fit clothing. Last year when I ran Ironman, I changed out of my bike clothes and into my running clothes and had like a 13-minute transition time because I took my sweet time with it. On the run course for Chicago Tri, you'll probably be in your tri suit. Your run shorts will also be your bike shorts, will also be your swim shorts. So we have tri clothing on the other side, but training in some looser stuff never hurts as well. Yeah.
My name's B. You said you had a 13-minute transition, so they time your transition also?
It all counts. Once you get in the water and
They still specify?
yeah, they give you splits. Yeah, they give you a split. Your swim, your bike, your run, T1 and T2 splits are all cumulative towards your overall time. Any questions on the clothing stuff, guys? Clothing or accessories? All right, very cool. Now we're going to go to shoes, and we've intentionally left this slide blank. Rashawn, come over here. I'm going to run out of something to say at some point. Rashawn knows a lot about shoes, so we're going to talk about these together. So what we talk about with running shoes, except for how pretty the colors can get, which everybody seems so concerned by, a running shoe is designed to support our body's movement through the run stride. So there's a lot of aspects to a run stride. There's gait analysis, there's the distance you have in your run stride, things like that. But what a running shoe is designed to do is to support our foot as it strikes the ground. A lot of people think that the best runners have the best form, and a lot of times that's true, but what a running shoe is supporting is this idea of pronation or supination, the body's collapse, or I guess this would also be outward collapse and supination. But what most of the population does, about 85% of the population pronates. And what that is when the heel strikes the ground or the midfoot strikes the ground, our foot rolls to the outside, the arch collapses, and then we're supposed to spring off the balls of our feet back into a neutral position so that it comes back up and it's ready to strike again. A lot of times what happens in that 85% is when we strike with our heel, we contact with the outside, and when that arch collapses, it continues inwardly. And we start to kind of break the plane of the ankle and the knee. That collapse works its way all the way up the leg, into the knee, into the hip, into the lower back, and it actually pushes you laterally so that when you strike with your next foot, you have to compensate and strike back to center. You're being pushed side to side every run stroke. What this is doing is it's just going to beat up our ankles, it's going to beat up our knees, it's going to start to cause a lot of damage to the joints as we go. So most shoes, or rather most runners, could benefit from what's called a stability shoe. What a stability shoe is it has something in it. This is the Wave Inspire by Mizuno. My product knowledge is getting better. I forget all the names of these fancy shoes. But it has a plastic plate throughout the shoe that stops that. We look at another shoe. Let's see if I grabbed one. This one's pink. It's an Asics shoe. The 2000, they wrote it on the inside for me. Thank you, Rashawn. And you can see that the durometer of foam, this white foam at the bottom, gets thicker near the back. It's called a post. And what that does is when our foot strikes, comes to the outside and starts to collapse in, it provides a firmer material to basically push your heel and your arch from coming too far in. Personally, I run in stability shoes. I pronate pretty terribly when I run, and this isn't a good or a bad thing. It's just the biomechanics of the body. Some ultra-fast marathon runners need a shoe like this because that's the biomechanics of their body. There's nothing, you can't learn to run better in this way. That's just how the body kind of works. If you are some of the population that falls into the neutral category, then you get a shoe that doesn't have a change in density in the foam. The durometer of the foam runs the same all the way through. So it's just as soft. We don't need to compensate from pushing you out. And if you supinate, there's shoes that stop that from happening as well. The post is essentially on the other side of the foot to stop it from rolling outwardly. Is that a good synopsis of it, Rashawn?
Yeah.
Rashawn's got something to add. He gave me the I got something to say look. He's got something to add.
You're doing a really good job of talking about it, but it's not just so that pronation or the supination or having it being neutral isn't going to be the only thing. It's not just your arch collapsing and then your ankle moving out. It then translates all the way up your body. So when we do a fit process, yes, I'm looking at how your foot is collapsing. I'm looking at your ankle, which way it's going, both in walking and running. But that's also going to affect your knees and hips. Take one of these guys and pass it around. So the shoes aren't going to necessarily fix your running or fix your gait, but it is going to support the gait that you naturally have. So that's why you go through a fit process.
And there's a bunch of different shoes. My favorite shoe personally, the shoes I run in, are the Hokas. The next question everybody always has is cushioning. I want a softer shoe. I need a cushier shoe. And then there's this theory or this technology out there called drop of the shoe, from heel to toe. What's the drop? We're passing around Rashawn's business cards, which have the super secret message on it that gets you a 15% discount. His nickname is Fish, so we drew a fish on all of his business cards. If you set up an appointment with him and bring that card in, that's how you get 15% off the running shoes in the month of June. I run in Hoka's shoes like this. They make you look kind of ridiculous, but they're super comfortable. They have a high cushion volume to them, really soft landing. Being a bigger guy myself, I can use that extra cushioning. Something like the Nike Free Run has a lower cushion. It's a little bit lighter of a shoe, a little bit more race-oriented. Same thing with the Kinvara by Mizuno. This is one of the better tri shoes we have. Super lightweight, super minimal. You would only race in this. You wouldn't want to train in it. The miles you're logging along the way will just start to beat the shoe up. And then a couple things worth noting on the training side of technology. So these running shoes are made out of a really, really nice foam. And as you run in it, every run stride is going to push that foam down and compress it. And it does rebound. But if you go for a long run today, that foam takes about 48 hours to fully rebound, to come all the way back to life. So don't ever back up long runs one day to the next. Personally, I have 2 pairs of shoes and I'll rotate them in and out. I also wear my shoes here at the store for 10 hours a day on my feet and compress that foam down. So don't ever be afraid to have 2 pairs of the same shoe and rotate them in or out. And again, just don't stack those long runs up day to day. Any questions on stuff? Yeah.
I'm Emily.
Hi, Emily.
So you said earlier that you shouldn't have anything on race day, and then you showed It's some shoes that you said don't train in these, just wear them on race day.
Wow, got me good. Train in them shortly, train on your shorter run. So most of us will be working through, and I'm going to use a big word and then explain what it is. We're going to be using periodization in our training, which is some form of building up and then a step back, and then we're building up again. So in running, you'll have a couple long runs, then you'll do a short, easy run, and then a couple long runs, and then a short, easy run. We would work in a pair of shoes like this on our short, easy runs. So the body's used to them, so we understand what they're going to do. But you won't be able to log your training miles. The bulk of your training miles just won't work in this shoe. That's the first time I've ever been caught on that. Kudos to you, Emily. Yeah, go ahead.
Julie, what specifically makes it a good tri shoe versus anything else?
Can you grab me that tri shoe over there, please? The other one?
The Pierce one?
Yeah, I want to see that. What makes it a good tri shoe is totally up for debate. This one's a good tri shoe because it's super lightweight. It's a good cross trainer. In comparison to other shoes, it weighs less. There's less material to it. Rashawn had something very important to say about that, so we're going to wait until he gets back here as well. We have another shoe on the store that I believe Chicago Triathlon has an official partnership with called Pierce, and that's like a tongueless design. That's it right there. And Rashawn, what were you going to say about what makes it a good tri shoe?
Honestly, tri-specific shoes is kind of a misnomer. It's really just, it's easier to put on. The laces are usually easier to, like, they're either elastic or with this one.
This guy's got a closure.
One little closure buckle. And then they usually have some sort of drainage in it. Most running shoes can be made into a tri shoe. You can switch out laces. You can, it's going to have some sort of drainage by itself already. So that's kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah, and now tri shoes, unfortunately, any lightweight running shoe in the run world, they're called cross trainers or flats or something like that. They just wear down really quickly. This is like a 200 to 300 mile shoe, and if you're an athlete like me that weighs 215 pounds, I'm going to beat that shoe up in like 150 miles. Whereas something like the Hoka, you're going to get 300 or 400 miles out of. It's going to last you a lot longer. That minimal design, and something like this guy here, Pierce, Hootie ran a half marathon in these and said they held up really well. This is the first year we've had a shoe like this, so I'd be curious if you ran in them every day along the way, what would happen. But I think it'll be all right, so we'll see.
But,
Go ahead.
the support, I mean, because it looks like it's so much less support.
As far as the bottom half of the shoe or the durometer of the foam, it's going to be a little bit lower. The upper body is usually made out of a little bit thinner material, so it drains better, it's lighter weight. As far as how it fits and feels on your foot, these shoes are super, super comfortable. It's just after 100 miles, how's the shoe going to feel? Support-wise, it should be pretty similar. It just isn't going to last as long. It'll get beat up faster. Any questions on the gear slide here, guys? We're going to buzz through the last couple of things here. Yeah.
Quick question,
Yeah.
Alyssa. So I actually have Hoka hiking boots.
Yeah.
Like their first venture. And
Sure,
I
sure.
love them. I kind of wanted to race in them. Is it like too heavy to race in? Or
That's
is it
all
like-
relative. Too heavy is all relative. It might, yeah, if they're super comfortable for you, I'd say go for it. The biggest thing with run shoes is to be in something that's super comfortable, something that supports your body the way it needs to be supported, and something that's not going to eat up your joints, your knees, your ankles, your hips, stuff like that. So if it works for you, go for it. I'd be concerned with how hot they are. My feet would start sweating personally, but if they work for you, go for it.
The bigger issue with a boot, like the Hoka hiking boots are great, is just more of, do you have that ankle flexion?
Yeah, I wouldn't run in my hiking boots, I swear. But I wanted to get the Hoka running shoes to do my run in because I really
Like the boots.
really like the
Yeah.
boots. And I thought the support. I call them my moon boots because they're
Yeah.
kind of ugly.
Yeah,
but
okay.
they're fantastic.
Yeah, if they work, right? I run in them too, no matter what. So I saw another hand pop up. Yeah.
Azra, I just bought some shoes. Do you recommend definitely getting a second pair and trading it out? Can I run in these in the next few
Yeah,
months?
yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't have a problem. This is the time of year where we can make it through the end of the season with the same shoes, the same pair of shoes. But if you're running a lot, and if you're using running as your main form of training, you might want a second pair just to rotate in. There'd be nothing worse than getting close to race day and your shoes being gone. And you'll notice the foam will harden up, your knees will start to hurt a little bit more, and then have to break in a new pair of shoes right away. That's a little tougher. Whereas if you have two, you can keep them both a little bit longer. So, any other questions on this stuff, guys? We're going to keep buzzing here and get you guys separated out to talk to some different people as well. So the runs, again, I got ahead of myself on the last slide. We have Tuesday night fun runs every Tuesday at 6 p.m. except for Thunder and Lightning. That's the only time we don't run. We have our Saturday Fun 5. The first Saturday of every month, we have a Fun Run 5K at like 9 a.m., I think. I'm the one who does the calendar. I should know these things off the top of my head. But we call it our Fun 5 because it's a run-walk 5K. If you're brand new to running, you just want to get used to that 3-mile distance for the first time. We set up a mile loop here in the neighborhood. We throw a tent outside. We put water out on the table for you. That's a great way to get introduced to that 3-mile distance. Gillian leads that run. And if she was here, she'd have no problem with me saying she's not the world's fastest runner. Jeff usually goes with. He might be the world's fastest runner, but he'll help you guys out as well. There's some great people that show up to those runs. We talked about the second Tuesday, we have our Shake Shack run. July and August, we're going to have our do-it-yourself try. Saturday morning, it's a great opportunity to do brick workouts. Every Saturday, we're down at the beach from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., open water swimming, renting wetsuits, and watching people's stuff, which is huge. We bring our bike rack and watch backpacks for you as well. Don't bring like your laptop or your safety deposit box or anything. But I'll watch your bag with your run shoes in it while you go swimming. And if you want to quick jump out of the water and go for a quick run, I'll keep your bag there until I leave at 11. If you're not back by 11, I got a new backpack. So that's a great opportunity to get out and go running. Those Tuesday night swims with Chicago Tri, the Aquathlon is also a great opportunity to go running. The city is full of amazing groups. We have Grit Endurance has a track workout every Wednesday night, I believe it is. I think it's every Wednesday night.
Wednesday night at 6.
And we do Saturday mornings hills. Saturday morning long runs.
6 a.m.
Yep. You can tell I work for Live Grit, not Grit Endurance. I'm learning these things as we go. We get a lot of run training with them. And the city's full of awesome groups to go running. I know like Lululemon has a great run once a week and stuff like that. Getting out with people makes a big difference. I personally hate running, so I hate running by myself even more. Being with other people makes it a lot more fun. Any question on, yeah, sorry.
Ann, do you bring the wetsuits to the DIY try?
I might, yeah, I could be convinced to do that. Yeah, we probably will. The do-it-yourself triathlon, we'll have you guys sign up beforehand. What we might do is have you register for a wetsuit rental that day as well. For anybody who's going to ask, we just decided this. Chicago Triathlon, we will be renting wetsuits. The registration for that, the reservation for that will open August 1st. It's a $50 reservation fee for 7 days. You'll be able to pick the wetsuit up the Wednesday before the race. And like I said, reservations will open up August 1st, and it's prepay only. You have to pay for it to reserve it for that weekend. Everyone's going to start asking that question like the next 2 weeks, so we'll just get it out of the way now. Last 2 slides here. This is a slide I know very little about, so I'm going to breeze through it real quick. These are great questions to ask the coaches, the men and women in the Chicago Tri shirts back there as well. We talk about surface runs, getting off of just the hard surfaces. It's not always on pavement. Get onto a rubber track, get onto a treadmill inside, run on the side of the lakefront path where there's that little crushed limestone path beaten into it. Do something to save your knees and your hips along the way. Changing up surfaces is going to make a big difference throughout your training. Make sure you're getting long runs in. At least go that distance. If you need to, walk some of it, run most of it, do a run-walk program, but try and get a long run in between now and the race. We talk about pacing. A lot of the smartwatches will tell you what mile pace you're running along the way. Having some number in your head and knowing that coming off the bike, because we've been doing multiple workouts throughout the summer, that pace might change. A lot of people will say, well, I run a 10-minute mile normally, but at the end of a triathlon, I run a 10:30 mile instead. Having an idea of what your pace should be coming off the bike, your body's going to feel really odd coming off the bike, so having a number in your head to pursue can help a lot. We talk about intervals or track runs. That's how you build speed. You build endurance by going for longer runs. You build speed by doing shorter, higher intensity workouts. Our track workouts on Wednesday nights are a great way to do this. Your own interval work at home is a great way to do this as well. I'm going to go fast from here to there, and then I'm going to go slow to the next point, and I'm going to speed up again to the next stoplight. You know, sprints here in the city from stoplight to stoplight can make a big difference as well. Talking about nutrition and hydration, this is something you should be practicing all summer long. We don't want to throw something new in on August 28th, getting comfortable with what we're eating, what we're drinking. I can't eat on the run. I just start to choke suddenly. So I eat on the bike, and I'll drink on the run as well. Getting used to drinking on the run. How do you bend that cup into the little funnel to drink out of? How do you drink out of a sports bottle? Making sure you're comfortable with that as well. And then brick workouts. This is my favorite part of run training because it makes sense in my brain. Oh, look at these guys. Good thing we're still going. So, please. The body undergoes a very drastic physiological change throughout the triathlon. In the swim, we're sitting flat and our blood is pooling differently than at any other point during the day. On the bike, we get up and we're usually pretty aerobic on the bike. You can catch your breath. You don't have that deep burning sensation. So blood tends to pool waist down in the bike section of things. And then when we start running, the body just undergoes another difference or another change in how it's working. Nobody in the world gets off the bike and can run just normally and run as if they had never been on the bike or the swim. There's this 1/2 to 2 mile kind of break-in period where you have to learn how to run again. What's that? It took me 2 miles to do it. It takes some. Jim, how long does it take you? A mile or so? Half mile. Everyone breaks in at a different pace. It's just this weird, like, figuring it out again. Your cadence on the bike ride should be around 90 revolutions per minute. Cadence on a run is usually a little bit lower than that. So just getting comfortable with how the body's working. And it's across the board. The pros deal with it the same way. The people who are winning deal with that same thing. The only thing we can do to lessen it is teach our body what's happening through these brick workouts, through training along the way. So learning what happens to your body and understanding that. Everybody, I think, at some point gets off the bike and goes for runs like, I'm going to quit. This is not working. But knowing that that's coming, just like a wetsuit, knowing that there might be a brief moment of panic that we can work through and get going is half the battle. So that's where brick workouts come in. August 28th should not be the first time you run after a bike ride. That will go terribly for you. Do it beforehand in your body. You'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's a huge change in how the body works. Yeah, Jim?
The only thing I want to add to that is you really only need to go 10 minutes, right? 15 minutes. It's not like you have to go run for 5 miles after a bike ride, but try doing your full bike ride, run for 10 minutes. You've got that much time to do after. That's all it takes to do some of these adaptations that gets you used to being able to feel comfortable doing it. It just doesn't need to be that long to run.
Yeah, they call them brick runs. Like you do a bike ride and then go for a brick run afterwards. And you can do a shorter bike ride and a longer run as well, but some sort of change and effort there will make a big difference. Please don't have any questions on this for me. The coaches are way smarter than I am. They'll help you out. Can the Lifetime coaches raise your hand real quick? They're all wearing 2 different fancy shirts. Those 4 in Jim are going to be floating around over here. So if you have run training specific questions, those 5 are going to be the people to talk to. Jeff and Rashawn on our staff are far and away the runners of our staff, so feel free to ask them as well. And then if you ask me, I'll come up with a really interesting answer along the way, I'm sure. Yeah, sure.
Saturday bricks, is that every Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, barring a beach closure or a thunderstorm, we are at the beach from 7 to 11. If you get there at 10:30, I will not watch your stuff until after 11. I'm there until 11. I got to get back and help these guys at the store. So, if you
Be mad if you keep it.
yeah. Last week, 2 people kept the wetsuits late, and Rashawn was pissed. But we made it. We lived through it. Any big questions for me, guys? Any big picture stuff for us? Awesome. Last thing I want to show you, I'm going to show you 2 things real quick. For anybody who hasn't been, if you go to livegrit.com/first-timers, and I promise I'll make it bigger in just a minute. This is your website here. This is your web page. It's buried in our website, but it's got all the information you want. So you can register not for this clinic. It's over. But swim number 1 and all our other clinics, as registrations become available, we'll post the links here. It's got your full calendar of events. Hey, look, that's us. And everything we do here at the store. So we have our open water swims. We have our group rides. There's our Fun Run 5K. I guess it's the 3rd Saturday of every month. We have all of our events posted in here. There's the Lifetime Swim on the 28th. Clinic number 1, open water swimming, is posted. Clinic number 2 is done. I edited the video. I just haven't put it online yet. I promise I will get it online soon. Here are the free training programs that Lifetime wrote you. If you have any questions on these guys, the coaches will be great to answer to. Some of our newsletters that have come out, and then the full program offering as well. That you guys get with being a part of the First Timers program as well. Great opportunity here. If you download our app, it's on Google Play and Apple iOS. Just search Live Grit, 2 words, in the App Store, and you can download that. There's a link right to this page. You also get loyalty points from us every time you make a purchase. We have our online store and the app as well. We push out notifications. That's how you get notifications if we cancel the open water swim or something as well. On here on our website, under Swim, Cycle, Run, or Try, there's links to Grit Endurance, our training partner as well. You can sign up for all their programs there. And if you have any questions, there's this lovely little chat feature that keeps my phone buzzing all day long. You chat there, you'll get a hold of me between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. I'll direct your question to the right people. The biggest thing is we know you guys are going to have questions along the way. The store was built out of the lack of comfort our athletes had in other stores and other places here in Chicago. So we wanted to build a place that people weren't afraid to ask their questions, weren't afraid to get them out there. If I don't know the answer, I'll get it over to the guys who do. I'll get it to our coaching staff. I'll get it over to Lifetime. I'll get it to whoever has the answer for you. The biggest thing is make sure you're asking questions along the way. You're not the first person to ask this question, I promise. Coaches, anything to add? These guys will be floating around over here with us and Jim. Our staff's going to be on the other side of the store near the product. Everything on this side of the store is bike related, but everything on that side of the store is triathlon related, so you'll be able to find some good run stuff as well. If you guys don't have any questions for me, I think I'm all finished. All right, guys, thanks so much.